These companies keep making the same mistakes. They don't honor the property, in which they are then making a new sequel to a video game. They blame gamers. They attack everybody. They try to push this diversity agenda on everybody. And then they act dishonest. And we're finding dishonesty coming from reviews of or at least the forthcoming reviews of the Dragon Age, the Veilguard now. Because if you are critical of Bioware, you will not get a review code. And this is crazy. And obviously this is going to come out. I mean, I don't know what these people are thinking. But honestly, like, if you're a big company and you've got a game like this, it's pretty obvious. Like, some people are going to like it. Some people are going to be critical of it. You can't discriminate based upon that. In fact, a lot of people make their decisions based on what the critical people say and what the actual content of that is. I know when I look up books on Amazon, I always look at some of the poor reviews, because there's always going to be some. And I see, okay, well, what's this about? And a lot of times it's, a person just doesn't connect with the character themselves, and or perhaps they personally don't like the author. I get some of those reviews from people on YouTube who come in and call me names and stuff on Amazon reviews. Very funny. But when I see that, I actually make the decision, like, as an informed consumer, like, okay, I can live with the critical stuff, and so let's see what it's like, and that's how I make decisions. So if you are removing that sort of critical thing from any kind of reviews, what's the point of reviews? It's just they're all puff pieces, all corporate access goons who are just trying to do the bidding of BioWare and saying nothing substantive. I mean, cool. That's helpful. And that's exactly what seems to be going on here. So please smash the like and subscribe button, everybody. I appreciate you for being here as we cover everything that's going on in the culture, especially things science fiction and fantasy. And Dragon Age had a beautiful fantasy world, but they kind of destroyed it. And I did the opposite. What I do is I build my worlds up very nicely, book after book, so it really opens up a lot once you get into book 2, and a lot of fun here. This is my Adventures of Baron von Monocle for Steam and Country is the first book, as you can see, highly reviewed on Amazon. And these are not paid people. These are people who paid for the book. So I appreciate everybody who's done so. And I started this fantasy series back in 2017. We've got 6 books going in it. If you enjoy just fun fantasy, like with a cool setting, you're going to enjoy this. Grab it in the description below. It's on ebook, print, and audio. And thank you guys so much for supporting the channel and supporting our works. It means a lot to me. So, yes, we have Wolfheart FPS reports that at least 3 streamers and YouTubers who are critical of Dragon Age the Veilguard during initial playtest have not been giving review codes for the whole game. Crazy. He reported on X, 3 creators, myself included, were a bit more critical than others with our hands-on time with Dragon Age, the Veilguard. Not a single one of us will be getting review codes with time actually to give opinions before release. Just thought I would throw that out there. Absolutely crazy. And this is par for the course. These big companies have been doing this kind of thing more and more. And that's why we call them the access media, because you get Kotaku and IGN, PC Gamer. They're always going to just be less critical about those AAA games, and they're going to get a bunch of advanced access and perks and all this stuff. It's a big clout structure that they use, and it's basically, hey, we'll give you some positive coverage. You give us advanced information so that we can be the only sources out there. It's lazy journalism. It's fake journalism. And as much as people like Alyssa Mercante go out there and say that what we do on YouTube is destroying journalism and the like, yeah, it's destroying their systems. It's destroying their clout because they end up not mattering as much at the end of the day. And it's a big thing, and it's a good thing that they and that's a good thing, as they often say, that they don't end up mattering as much, because now you can count on people who just have an independent spot to be honest about things, and that's what people want, and that's what we've always wanted. I mean, ever since 2014, when we started saying it's about ethics in gaming journalism, and that whole deal got started because of some weird reviews for a video game. If you don't know what I'm talking about because you weren't there, I'm sorry, my friends, but leave a comment if you do know. If you were there, I want to say hi if you're a veteran of that war. I salute you. But yes, this is exactly what's been going on with the media, and exactly why the media has been losing so much trust and why these AAA game studios have been losing so much trust, because it seems corrupt to do this kind of thing. When Star Wars Outlaws was coming out from Ubisoft, we remember how they were flying out YouTubers to giving them trips to Disneyland and putting them out on a yacht at night with food and a party. They were spending tons of money to get these streamers to try to say positive things about these games, and it is whining and dining these people at this point. It's whining and dining the influencers, and I don't think it's working anymore because when somebody has a situation like this and it's clearly done because of the access, because of the perks that they got, it comes across. People know, and people are smart enough to know what's authentic or not. And when you do this, you're basically telling your audience they're too stupid to notice that kind of thing. Think about it. It's really terrible from the company. It's so cynical. But this is where we're at these days. So he continued after this. He says, please keep in mind, folks, that this does not mean that my more critical opinion is better or more truthful than those that have been more positive. It probably is, sir. I'm simply pointing out how marketing works. This also doesn't mean the game will be bad, but it's something to consider. I think it's quite the opposite. So I will disagree with Wolfhard here and say that this game looks terrible. And they know it looks terrible, and they know that Dragon Age fans and gamers are not going to like the changes they've made to the setting, that they're not going to like the fact that the characters who have been continued are kind of just cast to the side. They're not going to like the story choices that have been removed, and they're not going to like all the weird LGBTQ crap that they're trying to force into all of our faces. That's what I think is going to happen here. Now, from what we've heard of early releases as well, it's got the same problems where, the graphics are having problems as well. It seems like they release these buggy games just to release them rather than actually trying to make everything polished and done. And that's where we're at. Again, he pushed back in response to YouTuber Kala Elizabeth, noting that individuals who gave positive reviews did not give review copies as well. She wrote, there were also people who were very positive, who were at the event, who didn't get review copies also. I think you guys should have been given review codes, but I want to point out that it wasn't only people being critical who weren't given codes. He says, I understand that. I did my research on this before posting. The point is, so that everyone I know of who's critical did not get a code. Everyone. Two of us being heavily involved in the party-based RPG scene. It's not a good look. It is, however, a good look on the investor side of the equation, though. I don't think that's the case at all. Like I said, if you're not letting people just do honest reviews, you are just not doing well whatsoever. And as an investor and as developers, honest reviews that do have some critical stuff that are valid, that actually just point out things that you can fix or you can do better on the next one, it's invaluable. That kind of thing's really good from people who are actually giving those kind of honest feedback. I just do not understand this kind of thing whatsoever. But I really think that as what we're seeing, these people know that they have a woke game on their hands, and they know that gamers in 2024 are rejecting the woke on every single level. And I think they're just running scared, and I think they're just trying to do a little PR suppression before the game comes out in hopes that sales are going to be okay. Now, Dragon Age so far has not destroyed their brand way in advance like other companies have. This came out all the bad news about this game has come out like very close to release. So people have pre-ordered it. A lot of people haven't seen everything like the Ubisoft situation where, they don't understand that Bioware is really up there in terms of as bad as Ubisoft just yet. But once this game comes out, they're going to have a world of hurt happening unless something changes or unless something's different than what we've seen so far. As he said in his video, mixed impressions after playing Dragon Age early. He said, overall, initial impressions were wise. This game was pulling me in so many different directions, leaves me very conflicted. As a fan of the franchise as a whole and someone who's already gone through the mourning period, that the Dragon Age franchise would head more towards the CRPG direction or more towards a deep, complex RPG direction, I guess I could say I do find myself still excited to jump back in on release. He said, with that said, I can't confidently say to you, although as my audience, that this is a definite buy. My guess is this game will unfortunately continue to be quite divisive, but I could be wrong. He also shared, for myself, potentially the story, the world building is powerful enough of a force of the Dragon Age franchise that I'll be playing it no matter what. And there are certainly some cool things I talked about in the video, but I don't see any world where this could be like my game of the year or anything like that. A few of the negatives I mentioned in the video, they just feel too impactful for what I personally value in games, specifically RPGs. Now, this guy's way nicer about this, clearly just a huge Dragon Age fan, and is not looking at it from the culture war lens or anything like that. But if you are a gamer who's seen this and seen all the woke nonsense that's come in and you're just sick of it, you're going to be so fed up with this so quick that it's better just not to play the game. And that's why we won't be getting any review codes over here anytime soon from any of these companies. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for being here and making our channel a success. And please do check out my fantasy series, The Adventures of Baron von Monocle. Really appreciate all you guys' support over the last couple of months. It's just been huge sales. Yeah, it's in the description below. Thanks.